with us on NewsX World as we track this very, very crucial development. With that, viewers, we're shifting focus away from the Middle East towards the war in Europe. We're now learning that a Russian overnight drone attack has injured 5 people and damaged port and energy infrastructure in Ukraine's southern region of Odesa. This is according to the governor of the town. Now, according to the governor, the attack cut power to 30,000 people and set containers with vegetable oil and wood pellets on fire in the port. Meanwhile, Russian attacks in southern Kherson region have killed 3 civilians. Drone strikes in Sumy near the northern border have also claimed the lives of 3 people. This, of course, comes as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has stated that his forces are dealing heavy losses to Russian troops in eastern Donetsk. Zelenskyy has highlighted gains in Donetsk, a strategic logistics hub that is being targeted by Moscow. With us on the broadcast is Mr. Glenn Grant, former advisor to the Ukrainian Defense Minister. Thank you so much, sir, for taking our time and speaking to us on NewsX World. One very crucial revelation has been made by President Zelenskyy. He has stated that gains have been made in Donetsk. It is, as I mentioned earlier, a strategic logistics hub that Moscow has been targeting repeatedly. How can now Ukraine's strategic gains over here impact Russia's supply lines?
Well, that was, let's be blunt about it. It's not a strategic gain. It's a tactical gain. It's not going to make any major change to the front line because it's just one small area in a front that's several thousand kilometers long. But what it does show, and what is important, is that the Ukrainian forces, who have been being pushed back solidly for the last couple of years, are still active and are still positive about trying to regain their land. That they're not just sitting there and doing nothing. So it should act as a warning to Russia that they're not going to have everything that they want their way. They've gained very little so far, really in terms of ground, and this shows that every inch is going to remain extremely difficult for them to gain.
Indeed, and we've also, as I reported earlier, seen attacks targeting port and energy infrastructure in Odesa. What could be the long-term impact of such attacks where civilians and, things that are important to civilians such as vegetable oil, wood pellets, all of which are most likely to be used quite frequently during the harsh winters? How could this impact the civilian population?
Well, I think you'll find actually that those things are probably going out, not coming in, because Odesa is actually, it's the main serious port for Ukraine onto the Black Sea, and it still remains a vital hub for Ukrainian exports. Without it, they would have extreme difficulty. I mean, it's 20–25% of their exports are going through Odesa at times. So it's really important. But it shows that Russia is still intent on seeing Odesa as a major point that they wish to capture. But I don't think they're going to. There's no evidence that they have forces that could actually push that far. But I would add, Odessa's not just suffering from this. It's also it's been hit regularly in the last couple of months. Every couple of days, and a lot of those hits have been on civilian infrastructure, but they've also had severe floods. I mean, really deep water, which is ruining houses, sweeping cars away, and they're under a flood warning again at the moment. So that the whole city is not exactly having the best of times today.
And we've also recently seen Moscow state that the momentum for a peace deal after the Trump-Putin summit in Alaska has been exhausted. In this context, could we then expect the Americans to fast-track the delivery of the Tomahawks despite Putin's threats?
Well, I mean, the first thing is, of course, the Alaska deal was nothing. There was no deal. There was never any peace on the table there. So there's no change from the last 2 years at all. That Putin tries to stop anything that actually makes that makes Russia weaker. So he's going to work hard with threats about the tomahawks. But there seems to be an inexorable turning of the wheel towards giving them, and so we wait and see what Trump actually does. But you have to remember all the time in the background that Trump has been supporting Putin, but he still has the problem of his own Republican Party. Many, even almost most, still support Ukraine. So he has to balance these two things out. So he may offer something, but he will then delay giving it, as we've had delays on this for the last few weeks. So we have to wait and see.
All right, so with that, I would like to thank you for taking out time, sharing your analysis with us on NewsX World. With that, viewers, we're shifting focus to South Asia, particularly India. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has met Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi in his first official visit to India. The two leaders are scheduled to hold bilateral talks aimed at strengthening the India-UK comprehensive strategic partnership. Starmer is being accompanied by the largest ever UK trade delegation to India. British Trade Minister Peter Kyle and Indian Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal have also met in Mumbai to discuss trade. Britain and India signed a free trade agreement in July during a visit by Prime Minister Modi to the United Kingdom, sealing a deal to cut tariffs on goods from textiles to whiskey and cars and to allow more market access for businesses too. With us on the broadcast is Ms. Shruti Dasgupta, International Affairs expert, joining us from New Delhi. A crucial visit by Keir Starmer to India. As I mentioned earlier, we've seen the landmark India-UK FTA being inked in July. Now, the largest ever trade delegation from the UK is in Mumbai. In focus is Vision 2035 and how to advance bilateral cooperation. In your assessment, can we expect any major announcements with regards to this?
Well, you're absolutely right. It has the biggest trade agreement that Britain has actually managed to wrangle out of the rabbit's hat after its Brexit. So for them, it is an important deal, and for India also, which is facing Trump's tariff tantrums. So for both sides, it is an important situation. So what we do hope, although visa has been taken off the table, Keir Starmer has already stated he will not speak about the visas as well as jobs as of now. But we do hope that the major tech transfers, deals, etc. come in focus, and India and its traders that are struggling against the tariffs which have been imposed in the last month are able to come out of the economic hellhole that Trump is trying to put India into.
Indeed, it is quite significant, this particular visit, because India and Britain are the world's fourth and sixth largest economies respectively. In fact, the bilateral trade between the two nations is valued at 54.8 billion, with investment supporting nearly 600,000 jobs across both countries. Now, India has said, and the Foreign Ministry in particular put out a statement earlier stating that Starmer's visit will provide a valuable opportunity to reaffirm the shared vision of India and the UK to build a forward-looking partnership. Ms. Dasgupta, I wanted to understand from you, what could this forward-looking partnership entail in considering the next decade and where we're heading towards?
So we're basically hoping for tech transfers in terms of battery and green energy. That means we want to build better nuclear energy options for ourselves. We are hoping to get access to battery making technology. Microchips are also a bigger concern, though we did manufacture one completely indigenously, but that is a few generations old. So we want to be up in the technical sides of aspects. That is a major concern of ours. There are export businesses which only contribute to about 45% of the total trade between India and UK. So those sectors have been suffering. So we are hoping to see a flourish in those sectors. Professional mobility is something that we hope to get. where UK service sector gets access to Indian professional qualifications, and mutual recognition of professional qualification is something that would interest a lot of Indian students. So things like that are going to impact. The major markets will be the manufacturing of cars, as well as tech transfers between bigger companies, which will face lesser tariffs now in India, as in your Land Rovers and your Jaguars and Aston Martins. Whiskey is something that is going to see a reduction in price, not just ones that are made in the UK, but also the ones that are made in India, because blended malts will have access to cheaper Scottish whiskey, and they would improve in quality as well as price. So things are going to look up for the Indian market, but there are a lot of pros and cons that need to be measured. 99% of the marine now going to be tariff free. Another sector impacted by the tariffs say, and 95% of the cultural sector is not going to be tariffed by UK, which is another sector which is being helped. The pharmaceutical side of it is going to see a plus point, as in the generic medicines will continue to hold their steady, firm response to the patent related questions that were there, as in the patent as well as the testing data that was confidential and would not be held, would not allow other companies to mass produce these medicines. India does not recognize that patent after 3 years, and that allows for the generic medicine option, which is something that India is the largest supplier of globally. So as a result, this particular stance UK has bent its knee on and said, fine, we will not touch the pharma market and allow generic medicines to flow into our markets as well. So the MSME sectors are going to face a little bit of a sweet and sour moment, because as long as 20% only is UK sourced, then the companies are allowed to become the second level supplier, and they can bid for the $38 billion industry of infrastructure and tenders that tends to happen in India annually. So they have a lot to gain, and we are hoping to offset some of our losses from USA by doing this FTA.
All right, ma'am. With that, I would like to thank you for taking out time